You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Weird Science Comics YouTube channel, where I'm going to be reviewing Wonder Woman number 798. It is the penultimate issue of the Lazarus Planet Revenge of the Gods event, and the Cloonan run on Wonder Woman is coming to an end. And while people seemed to lose their minds when it was announced Tom King would be taking over the book in September, most people have largely given the Cloonan a pass. And I mean they passed on this book because nobody is talking about Wonder Woman at all. This book has been floundering since 2017 when Greg Rucka left. And if you look at the long list of creators since then, it's not hard to figure out why. I am now dubbing those 6 years the dark times. Now, after the awful trial of the Amazons, DC Comics thought it'd be great to have another event loosely tying into the pretty awful Lazarus Planet event because, you know, that's going to make it sell to fans. Now, the trial of the Amazons fell because the Cloonans were joined by equally bad writers Stephanie Williams, Vita Ayala, so DC learned their lesson, right, and got G. Willow Wilson to help out this time. You know, G. Willow Wilson, who had one of the shittier runs on Wonder Woman during those dark times. And so, to nobody's surprise, the Revenge of the Gods has been bad, and nobody is talking about it. Oh well, let's get into this. And please, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like the video, enable the notifications. Tell me what you think of the Cloonan's run on Wonder Woman, this issue, the Revenge of the Gods, all of that stuff. But here are the credits. Wonder Woman number 798 is written by Becky Cloonan and Michael Conrad, as we like to call Cloonrad. Art by Amancay Nahuelpan, colors by Tamara Bonvillain. She blocked us, by the way. Letters by Pat Brousseau. And there's a big problem with this event, with the synergy going on in it. It really shouldn't be that hard to coordinate an event with only 2 books involved, but somehow DC's managed to do it. Diana's powers have been all over the place. And without little explanation, she seems at points to be powered up, then she's depowered. All this can happen between issues, and it happens again here. In the last issue of the event, The Revenge of the Gods number 3, it seemed that Diana had been granted some powers and a new set of armor by Hera, which made no sense since Hera's the villain of the story, but it really wasn't explained. But sadly, the Cloonans didn't seem to get that memo. And Diana is now desperately in need of an upgrade because, as we know, Wonder Woman has never fought gods before, right? So the last issue ended with the reveal that the hooded stranger was Ares, the god of war. And we do get his motivation for joining up with Diana to help fight the gods. He says, and I quote, "For if mankind places their fears in the gods on high, they just might forget to make war with one another." Really? I guess Ares has never been on social media. We all know that this would lead to more and more problems with people arguing on Twitter about which god is the best, which should be canceled, and if we should be using the Greek or Roman names. Hashtag Team Greek for me. But there's not much time to argue the point, though, because Hera shows up with Hermes and Apollo, and they're looking for a fight. I'm glad that Hera's actually doing something other than sitting on her throne slinging shade at her dead husband. But Hermes and Apollo were already facing Diana and her crew at the end of the last issue, but whatever. At least we get to see Wonder Woman kick ass, right? Well, that's one of the biggest problems with Wonder Woman in the dark times. Is she really going to fight anyone? Because she doesn't really fight anybody, not even villains. Almost all the writers have gone all in on Diana's compassion. And so instead of throwing punches and kicks at her enemies, she slings compliments and encouragement. Instead of slicing bad guys with her sword, she cuts through the misunderstandings and the misrepresentations. Seriously, a villain in a Wonder Woman book is just a hero you haven't met yet. I mean, she is going into battle right now with Ares and Cheetah by her side. This stuff just doesn't make sense. Listen, I don't need her to snap Maxwell Lord's neck every Sunday, but you need a yin to the yang. And knowing that Wonder Woman still gets angry and is willing to kick some ass actually would make her compassion even more powerful. Unfortunately, that's not happening here yet, as Wonder Woman begs Hera to be better. and encourages her to be the better person as she's getting punched in the face repeatedly. At the point where we can jokingly say that it looks like Diana might not survive this, Mary Marvel steps up and gives Wonder Woman the power of Shazam, and Diana ascends to godhood, ready to take down Hera once and for all. What is going on? Normally, Mary would be able to share the power of Shazam with her family, but unless we're going to take the whole Amazonian sister thing to the extreme, this isn't how it works. Plus, at the moment, they haven't been able to share the power anyway, and where the hell is the wizard? The wizard ended up taking the power from Billy and has just disappeared. You have an event where Hera finally shows up, but really was doing nothing at all. And we haven't even seen the other big bad, the wizard, do anything really except take the power of Shazam from Billy. That is epic fail. Also, with the power of Shazam, it doesn't really make you ascend to godhood. You're borrowing the powers of the gods. Plus, it's been bothering me from the beginning of this event. How do you borrow the power of Zeus, which is one of the powers of Shazam, when he's dead? None of this will ever be explained. It's just nonsense. Oh, well. Diana now has the power so she can fight Hera. Next issue. That is going to be for the finale. And I just read this. I'm great. Whatever. There's also other bullshit going on while this happens. For some reason, the goddess Atlantiades shows up out of nowhere to protect Steve Trevor for no reason. And if you didn't know, Atlantiades showed up in G. Willow Wilson's run on Wonder Woman to mind rape an entire town and be obsessed with Wonder Woman and hated Steve Trevor. I don't know what ended up happening between this and whatnot, but I'm sure this is just a forced way to let Steve Trevor stick around while the gods battle, and so he does not die. There is a Mary Marvel backup written by Josie Campbell with art by Caitlin Yarsky. And here we have Wonder Woman thanking Mary for giving her the power of Shazam. And since the writers want to have Mary be involved in the finale, Diana gives her the trinkets and treasures that the Amazons were using in the awful Cloonan backups in the main event book. The best is when Diana gives Mary a signed Wonder Woman t-shirt. And really what I wish was happening is that Mary was given the shirt that says, I gave Wonder Woman my powers, and all I got was this lousy t-shirt. There are so many things wrong with this book, but the art actually isn't one of them. The issue looks great, but that can't make up for the awful writing and lack of any congruence with the main book. And this one, that's tying into it. I don't think the Cloonrads mean Diana any harm, but their awful writing has harmed her more than anything. And fans can thank them for making DC Comics get so desperate to get any sort of buzz going on this book that they resorted to putting Tom King on it. I am giving this issue a 4 out of 10, almost all for art, and I would love to hear what everyone thought about it, if anyone out there even bothered to read it. Now, if you enjoy the reviews here that I do on YouTube, I would ask you to check out our DC Comics podcast, where me and my co-host Eric Shea, who is America's sweetheart, go more in depth with each book and try to have a bit of fun while doing it. Just search Weird Science DC Comics anywhere you listen to podcasts, or look for the link in the description of this video. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you later.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.